parking. So I think it
Of
was this
course.
Bethwick parking. All right, perfect.
Yeah, it was this one.
Oh, frowns.
I think he was
I
by
can't.
himself at first, and then I joined.
Oh yeah. All right. So I guess we can start here.
Oh,
Yeah, he's a
down.
crafty dude. He's crafty, man. He gets those
Yeah,
demos and those bumps. He's really good about that. Okay,
trying to do
so
mine.
in
Try to
general,
catch it.
I'm gonna talk in generalities for a second about defense for a second. So
Okay.
think about I'm gonna kind of this is kind of weird because it's so freaking high up. Okay, so pretend this is like more on the ground, right? This is way high up there, but in general, like when the ball is
Yeah.
coming into your net, like on the left side, right, and like say you're shadowing also coming back this way, right? In
hmm
general, you have a couple different options. You can either turn and challenge early at any point, or that could be here, it could be here, or ideally you'd go if you have to make a goal line save, it would be parallel with the goal line, so you'd be making
Yeah.
a save like this. But the idea is that once you're shadowing, you're actually shadowing from one side of the field going to the other side of the field when you make your challenge. What a
Yeah.
lot of people do as a mistake is that as the ball is coming in like this, they tend to rotate like this and they go super close with in line with the ball. And then if he shoots left or if he shoots right, it becomes way awkward because then you have to go left or right. Well, then if the ball is being shot at your net and you're also going like this, then your left and rights are going to be backwards if you have ball cam on, right? So
Yeah.
it'll be kind of awkward to go left or right, especially if it's in the top corners. It's going to be a really hard save. So just in general, when the ball is coming down your field like this, you typically want to take a wider approach like this and just stay
Okay.
parallel with the goal. So honestly, that's kind of what you're doing here in this play. I just wanted to point it out because I'm sure we'll cover that as we go along. But you can see as the ball comes this way, you're also going parallel with it as you make your challenge, like right here. So
hmm
I'm sure we'll cover that again. That's something I just wanted to point out. Just keep in the back of your head.
Yeah, no worries. I tried catching him on this, but that's just
Yeah.
me.
So I think we could go over that as far as catching the ball. I'm sure it looked like you tried to actually catch the ball here. It
Yeah, I tried
actually,
to.
if you notice like his spacing, you can't really see how far he is away, but like he's pretty far away. So like if you were able to actually get a catch on the side of your car, it would actually be not that bad. Like especially if you
hmm
kill it right here and you just like hit it with like the side of your car right here on the side and then just kill it
Yeah.
this way, it would be perfect because he's flying this way. I'm gonna see honestly,
Exactly.
especially if you kill it on the kind of the back side, you could literally just turn and drive it straight in the net. So
Yeah. Yeah, I tried to. And then
once
we
this
bounced.
happens, though, honestly, this position is pretty dangerous. I would almost recommend to flick your ball cam on and off because at this point you don't know if he's turning and challenging because he just stole your boost. So at a
That's
higher
true.
level, this would be a little bit more dangerous of a threat because you're at this point you don't have enough info to work off of to know if he's going to
Mhm.
challenge or not.
Yeah. He backs off though. I think I missed
Ooh.
score here. Oh,
Okay.
never mind.
So this should have been scoreable. Um,
Yeah, I tried to,
I
but
think just the
I was
dribble with ball cam was probably maybe a little unnecessary because you kept ball cam on this whole time, and then now look, you're not even looking at the net anymore. I
Yeah,
think
I
if
was.
you take ball cam off here, it might be a little bit better. So just take ball cam off right now. That way you'll know exactly how much you need to turn. You can just say, all right, screw frowns. I'm just literally driving this into his net.
No,
Good
I
demo.
tried dribbling it. Yeah, I tried dribbling it. No, I just tried turning it. I didn't try dribbling it. Tried cutting it more, but I couldn't because Franz put me in a very awkward position.
I honestly, I see what you're saying, but I would say if you take ball cam off, this is an easy dribble. Honestly,
Uh,
I think because you had ball cam on, you don't know how much. See, there's this like little bit of space right in between you and the ball. Um,
hmm
if you take ball cam off, you know how much space you have. It's much easier to see that because your camera is like facing this way, right? So
Yeah,
you can't really tell that gauge that distance when your camera is like overhead like this. So
yeah.
I think honestly, if you take ball cam off, you'll know like, okay, hey, I can bring my car up into it and then just drive it straight in, kind of like that. Be a little bit more subtle with your turn. I think that would
hmm
help. As for the next point, right here, honestly, I would maybe take his boost because even if he spawns here, it's not an immediate threat. Then I would take his boost. Then you can take that boost, bring it all the way back if you want, take your boost, and then reset the play from there.
Instead, I go straight for mid boost.
Instead, you go for mid boost, and you landed. You kind of went like this, and are bringing it back like that. You didn't even take the mid boost, if I'm not mistaken. You kind of went past it. So let's watch this again here.
Let's see, did I?
Yep. See how you're taking this lane going straight this way, but you missed the pad right here on the bottom. You missed this one, and I'm pretty sure you maybe have gotten that one. But you're taking like this weird mid lane, whereas I would almost excuse you if you took this boost pad here, took this one, and then take the mid, do something like that, bring it back, and then go like that. But your positioning when you go down midfield, you're not taking any boost. You still have 0. And then it's awkward as you try to come in left and take the ball that way. So it's just super awkward.
Yeah,
see how
fair.
you're in between the like the only way you're hitting this is this way. So that's not what you want. Whereas had you just come this way, you just you can grab the boost, drive that way, go back if you need to, or just turn back quick if you want. You have more options that way. But this positioning is just not good. Yeah. See, now you're hitting it, dude. This is super awkward, and that was all from that positioning boost grabs.
That's fair. I could have played that out a lot better. Now Frowns just basically threw that away.
Yeah, he did. Okay, so
I think he was looking for a harder flick.
honestly, yeah. So in this scenario, what I would do is, okay, you gave it away. This, like, look where you're not even landing yet. This should be a goal.
Yeah.
If he's higher level. The second this goes off your back wall, this is basically bouncing straight out this way, right? So he's probably going to come in, grab your boost, and try to, turn like that for a shot. At this point, what I would do is prioritize the boost, say screw the play, just don't matter whatever he's doing for just a second. You need to kind of prioritize your ability to get boost, because now, again, I don't know if you grabbed this one, but you're kind of going in a straight line, and it's super awkward. Whereas if you just take this boost pad, turn around and face this way, face the play in the back of the, like literally on the goal line, right where I have it drawn, face the play, your field of view is so much bigger now than what you do here. Whereas you turn, and I think you were kind of doing one of these, but then you're missing the whole back side of the net. So I'm going to watch that from this perspective, and hopefully that kind of, so you can see how, now look at, you're backwards, and you're, by the time you're turning, look at where the net is. It's all behind you, bro. Again, this should have been a shot on your net. So again, there's that positioning where now you have to back up, and he had a terrible shot. So again, that was 2 times within like 2 seconds. That should have been a shot on your net. Obviously, you hit the ball away as well. Like, this should have been a roller towards the net. This could have been a goal again on for you. Bit more of a mechanical mistake. I'm not really gonna talk about that, but I just wanted to point it out because that was like now been twice that each of you guys had a shot opportunity.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a scenario where I wouldn't mind you kind of creeping up here, and then the second you see, like, okay, he doesn't have a whole lot of speed, so you don't need to have a whole lot of speed either. You don't waste your boost. You have 100, right? So what I would do is, if he continues to creep up and go left, then what I would do is creep up this way, pick up this boost pad, and close the distance. That way, if he starts bringing it mid, you can turn around, and then you're shadowing on the left side, on this other side of the field. Then you can turn and challenge quick, or you can just continue to drop back to net. That's what I would do. I think when you're shadowing here, like, look how much distance you have. Like, you're basically just giving him time to set this up for no reason. Like, you're not even a threat at this point. Like, this is not a good position for him to be in. This is super awkward. But now look at, you just gave him, he's got 100 boosts. You gave him all the time in the world. Now he's got a perfect setup. You didn't stress him out whatsoever, and he's scoring off of this.
Yep. This is a little difficult to figure out.
Yep. So actually, I'd say for the most part, you did really well here, to be honest. So what I would expect a lower ranked player to do is to basically just drive straight back to net. They'd turn around and go like this. Well, then this is, again, where I said, where if the ball is coming straight at you and in your backwards, it's super awkward to kind of turn around quickly and make a shot or make a save. So what you did well here was you actually you keep doing what I say to do. And That's like as the shot is coming in, you took a wide approach. You tried to grab the boost and then you went this way parallel with the goal. So you actually did like 80% of this correct. Your other option is to kind of do one of these and literally just do like a little S shape and then go parallel this way. But either way, you see how my arrows are drawn across the net. You want the whole net to be in front of you if possible. Yeah. So you actually did this pretty well by going along the wall. It was just the execution wasn't quite there. So honestly, not a bad play in my opinion. I'd say if anything, you going on the wall is already maybe a little too early because you don't know if he's gonna drop this or what. But I would say if anything, at this point now, you see how your nose is pointed down. You don't have anywhere else to go but down now. So what I would do is just chill here with your nose pointed up, and you can jump and tilt back out to keep your height upwards a little bit longer. He hasn't quite, see how there's too much space is the problem. So by the time you're accelerating, you're trying to make a save, he hasn't even gotten to the net yet. So your timing, you see how like you going up on the wall is just a little too early. I'll also talk about the execution here too. I'll go into free play and go cover that with my with something later. But notice how when you jump and you flip, you're not actually like, you're not in a threatening position. Look at your car is basically like just a bullet just straight this way going down. You're not really covering any of this area for you to block a shot. So I'll go over that after the replay here, cover what we can do about that.
Yeah, my timing is really bad on that one.
Yeah, it's just a little awkward because I think you were just perhaps a little too quick for that play. Ooh, okay. Let me see that again. Okay, I like that kickoff. If anything, don't front flip on the ball. Do a side flip.
The side, right?
Yep. Rainey says that as well. And you'll see that because if you front flip, a front flip is basically having the body language that, okay, I'm going to beat him, right? I'm going to get it around him and I'm going to win. But he is also an immovable object that is also trying to push it past you.
Yeah.
And even in a scenario where you win this, he side flipped, right? And technically you like pushed it to his side. But even when you win a kickoff like this, it's not even the best scenario. Because look, he's already got ball possession now. So what the hell is the point of front flipping and giving it away? Like,
yeah.
The chances, like, just think about like the percentage chance that you're able to follow up on a front flip and just get it cleanly past him. It's so minimal, right? So a better opportunity here is to side flip. So what I would do is you actually have a pretty decent position. I'd say maybe go a little bit more left here, like land right here, and barrel roll to the right. So that way your car lands with the ball and you push the ball in the same direction that you want to go. So that way you land this way, then the ball goes this way. You can grab the other boost pad and then bring it to his net.
Okay.
It's just you have a little bit more intention with the play, right? Rather than just trying to win a kickoff, right? With a front flip.
Yeah.
Which is basically never going to happen. Like, yeah. All right. Okay, I like you backing up. All right, so here's the problem. Look at where you're facing. You rotated a little too early. So as you come in, you rotate here. But look where the net is. Yeah. All behind you. Again, here's where the timing comes into play. How before you were too early on the wall here, you're kind of here too early as well. I would expect you to at least pick up this pad, and let him, you kind of have to let him make a play first before you figure out where you're going to go. Because at this point, he hasn't touched the ball. You don't know if he's going to go up the wall. You have no idea. That could be option one. He could like kill this. He could go up this way. That's option two. He could bring this around and fake it and go back downfield. That's option three. He's got a couple options and he hasn't even done anything yet, but you're already preemptively going at the play as if he's coming straight towards you. So you can see how just by you rotating and pushing out to like right here, when the fact that he hasn't even done anything and he can just get it around you. So there's that timing again. It's very subtle, but I'd say, because see now you're pushing up and he's basically just hit it around you. And look at how like little his touch was here. Like look at how light this is. Steals your boost and dink. Wasn't very hard, right? But look how you're so far pushed up, it basically screwed you. So honestly, like, he's not in a very threatening position as well. Like, if you think about it from his perspective, like, what's threatening about this, right? Like, he basically, ideally, his car language, his body language says that, all right, I'm going to bring this up the wall and go this way. So, like, he basically doesn't even have an opportunity to score quite yet. So you pushing up, like, and preemptively trying to block him is a little, there's no threat there yet, so you don't need to.
Yeah.
If he was positioned, like, if this was a GC game and the ball was going to roll down and say the ball was going to get here, if he was positioned like right here and he has a straight shot on net, then yes, I would say try to block a shot, because then he's got a straight shot onto your net at a tight angle, right? But at this point, he's pushing it into the corner, so yeah, he just a little preemptive there on the play. I like your I like how you didn't panic and you just kind of flipped. You got the ball out of your half, which is the most important part.
Yeah, I have no idea how I pinched that. I just wanted to.
Okay,
like,
you should be
get
taking that
some
mid
kind of-
boost as well, by the way.
Should have taken the mid.
Yeah. So I would say stay with this play. Take this pad, and then take this pad and just kind of chill here. And see what he's going to do with it. Because again, at this point, he's bringing it back to his corner. So you don't know if he's going to bring it up the wall. There's options here. You don't know if he's going to bring it this way. He could bring it back around this way. You have no idea. So I'd say just stay with the play a little bit more and see what he's going to do. And then you can just grab mid boost and chill and see what he's going to do and kind of figure it out from there. But you grabbing this back corner boost, I mean, dude, there's literally going to be the whole field, like, of distance that he can work with again. And as we saw earlier, from this first goal, when you were just kind of chilling here around midfield and he was coming around this way, straight in net, that's when he scored. So we kind of want to avoid those scenarios.
Okay.
Because, yeah, you're really not in any threatening position whatsoever. And now the fact that he brought it over to this side, so now he's bringing it over here. Well, you want to really, even if he brings it to the midfield like this, you want to prevent him from coming in like this and taking this mid boost and going again. So I'd say take this, especially now that he's committed to going up in the air, take this boost pad and kind of shadow this way now. It just limits his options because you already have 100 and he's already forcing himself to. I mean, dude, this should be a gimme, really. Like, if you take that mid boost and pressure this ball earlier, then you should have ball possession here. Now imagine if you take this boost pad and start creeping up and just kind of seeing where the ball is going to go. You could probably just push it this way or steal it. Ideally you'd be able to just get a shot on net. Best case scenario. More probable is that you just get a side hit to the wall, right? That's probably more likely. But ideally you'd be able to have a good challenge here because now he basically gave away the ball. But you're too far away from the play from the get-go, and you're still backing off. Why are you giving him this space? And he's going to use it, right? So this has now been 2 out of 2 times that you have given him space, and he scored on you. And it's not because you have, like, bad decision-making, right? It's like you think you can go, you have boost, you're confident, right? It's like, okay, yeah, you made a bad decision here, but, like, it's because you had bad positioning that you made a bad decision. It's not the other way around. Right? Your positioning let you make that bad decision. If you were positioned ahead with the play already, you wouldn't be able to you would just have the ball, right? So I think had you just pushed up a little earlier, then you would just have the ball by then and you'd be able to tackle it.
Yeah. It's just hard to think of because I'm just kind of worried he's going to outplay me. So I'm
Right.
a little more hesitant.
I'd say if anything in that specific scenario, right? Like he was here, the ball was here, right? And it's still in the air. Worst case scenario, you grab this boost pad and go like this. And even if you don't hit it, well, what happens? Does it bounce in the air, right? And then it's kind of in the air. What? Worst case scenario, you grab the mid boost or you have to turn around. It's still not an immediate threat, right? So like you're worried in these scenarios, like back before, right? When he was in the corner in your back corner behind us, like you're worried about him making a play in these scenarios where like he's in the midfield, he just committed off the ceiling. He's got like 50 boost by the time you have like 100. The ball is bouncing to like the mid boost. Like what is there to be threatened of? You know what I mean? And you're being scared for no reason in a scenario where like it's not even threatening. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I just got to be more mindful of the scenario I'm in. basically.
Yeah. There you go. Not a bad. You put it on target. Better than before. Okay. Again, I like...
No, I gave him a lot of space.
Yeah, so again, this is the scenario where, okay, again, yeah, say, I mean, I'm not saying you have to pick up these small pads every time, but like, say you grab and you pick up this boost pad and you pick up this boost pad, okay? Say he actually drives it up the wall and he takes this mid, right? And then he goes off the wall and starts going towards your net. Okay, worst case scenario, what happens? Then you drop back like this. But this is not still a threatening position. Him driving towards the wall is not immediately threatening. You should be pressuring this and closing that distance, right? This versus like all of this. That's the difference. Now, this has been 3 times now in this game that you've given him like the space. Again, you didn't pick up the mid boost pad. You didn't pick up that pad. You didn't pick up that pad. You're going on the wall. Now, again, look, this is not a threatening position, but now look, you're driving down the wall expecting a play to come into your net. You're out of position again. You've given him too much space, and he recognized that now. Because now this has been the 3rd time, and now he's like, oh, shit, I don't even need to bring it to his net. I can just draw him in. And I bet you make a save here, so it's still a threatening position because, again, you give him way too much distance here.
Yeah.
So if anything, try to close that distance, as he brings it up the wall, try to close the distance and force a play. Just you being here in this scenario in the midfield is actually threatening enough of itself. I'm not saying to commit whatsoever. I'm saying just drive, and you being there will be enough pressure sometimes to actually force a play out of him.
Okay.
So yeah, this has now been 3 scenarios now in the same game within the last minute that have almost resulted in a goal. Woo! Good save though. There you go. I like the ball came off. There you go. Much better. Okay, execution not quite there. Oh, Lester.
Oh, wait,
the
Lester
2v2
joined.
and I joined. Okay, shit. All right, it's all good. Okay. All right, this will be fine. I'll still go over the replay, but wow, this is the first time I've ever had this in a coaching session where a 1v1 turned into a 2v2. I don't know how I'm gonna title this video, by the way. Okay, well, yeah, that was hilarious. Oh my god. Okay, I like you pressuring and you taking off ball cam. Okay, so this is already improvement. Remember how before I said, okay, now if you take ball cam off, you'll know exactly where you need your car to be. So now you know, okay, I need to be underneath the ball, which is perfect. It's already better than what it was before, where you just kind of hit the ball and gave it away. But I will say the execution, again, is not quite there. Look at where your car is. Half your car is on the front circle of the ball. It's not quite center. You should have my little itty-bitty drawing of an octane. You should have all 4 wheels in the center of the circle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're still too far forward, right? Which is why this happens.
Yeah.
So, again, execution isn't there, but, dude, honestly, 80% of that play is already better than what it was before when you tried to catch and dribble the ball. So, it's already better execution, to be honest with you. So, okay, now, this is really interesting because I've never coached where I'm actually in a replay with somebody. So, all right, hopefully I can actually show off what I'm doing as probably a good example of what to do. Okay, so now I'm going to transition into... Okay, and that's just a shot. Okay. Okay, let me... Sorry, my brain is like, okay, where do I go from here?
I thought it was just me and Frowns. I completely forgot halfway through. You and Lester joined.
Okay. All right, 2v2 scenario. Okay, obviously Frowns and I are much higher ranked too, so this is and you're already down 2 goals. So this is hard.
Lester's
Actually,
GC above, but you know.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, in a private match, it doesn't tell you if it's just a 1v1 or not. It just says 2v2.
Yeah.
And I looked at like the first 2 minutes. I'm like, oh yeah, this is when I face off Frowns.
Right.
Wow, that second touch really threw me off. Right
Yeah.
there.
Okay. So again, look at where you're already on the wall, but nothing has even happened yet. Honestly, I would say if anything, just chill here, because Leicester might have a challenge, right? But this is still a threatening position where it could go to net, to a shot on kind of your net. Like, look at where Leicester's pinching this from. It's pinching from this side, right? So he's blocking this side, and I'm coming in, and obviously I'm trying to score this. So this is still somewhat threatening. So I'd say if anything, you should be driving on the ground back to your net, ready to make a save if possible. But then if this goes up in the air, right? So say this goes up to your corner and around, then that's when you drive up the wall, right? You go up this way up the wall and then, you know, go up to meet it, right?
Yeah.
But notice how your positioning now so far has been you going up the wall before a play has even happened, right? Before somebody even makes a touch, right? So your positioning right now, where Lester, like I said, or Frowns, I mean, from earlier, where you're positioning in a way where you're expecting a play to go one way, but then you're getting screwed because of it. So even right here, your positioning is out. You're out of position already, and you don't even know it. Because yeah, now look at you have to go off of the wall now and catch up to it, but you don't commit. You're like, oh shit, well that might actually be a shot. Well, now imagine had you just stayed on the ground. Well, then you could just push up for it, jump here, go up for an aerial, right? You know, you could have so many more options, but you are already like, the distance here is you're already not staying with the play. You're already behind the play, just because you went on the wall.
200 ping during this.
Yeah, you did.
So I think that's why I was a little hesitant too, because everything.
If anything, does that make sense though, as far as the spacing? I think that's probably the number one thing I'm seeing so far.
Yeah, you're definitely right on that. And you beat me on that. It's in my net.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So here's a perfect scenario again where look at all three of us are in this side of the field and the ball is going this way. This is another scenario where you can pick up this pad, maybe pick up this pad, or pick up this one. Honestly, you have a couple options on how far you want to push up, but just push up a little bit more towards the midfield, right? Again, that's talking like the idea is that you want to keep with the play, and then you can turn around like this if you need to, or do like a giant circle, rotate back if you need to. But it's again closing the distance, because now as the play is developing towards this half, you're just kind of chilling back here, and again, there's that distance that we talked about literally like the whole game already. And it's the same thing where you're so far behind. I'm not, this isn't even a threatening position. And I can basically set this up. I know I have the free time. So that's exactly what I did. And I used my space.
Mechanics to set that up.
Yeah. So that's one thing too. You're in season 5, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that is actually one thing that you'll actually cover is 2-touch training, is actually using this bounce. So the ball is going to bounce here. And I'm going to make contact with it, so that way it's going to bounce off the wall back this way. And then I can go in for a shot on net. So you'll cover that in the GCR for sure.
I mean, maybe, because my time difference and when I have to go to work is kind of...
Gotcha. Well, that is part of the routine of the training regimen every day. So anytime you're doing your training routine, that is what you're supposed to do.
Okay.
But the main idea here too is right, like the space. I noticed that I had so much space and I used it. The same idea that applied when you were playing with Frowns as well. Yeah. So, not a whole lot happened here yet, but okay. So notice how you're trying so hard to keep up with the play and be really fast, but this kickoff, like yeah, you basically met Frowns on the kickoff, but man, this should have been a goal on you guys because you didn't flip twice on the kickoff, whereas you were doing so well earlier. Like, why stop that? Like, this is a.
I think I just messed it up.
Sure.
Yeah, I think I just messed it up right there. That was pretty much it, because I was already frustrated. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh like, god damn, this is so uneven. I mean, Lester's pretty good, but he's halted because of his
ping as well. Yeah. Okay, so here's a scenario again where look at how far away you are from the play already. You have to recognize like this ball is going towards our net. Believe it or not, I'm not always magically going to just boom this to your net as much as you think that's going to happen. I promise you, this is a scenario where like we haven't even jumped yet. This ball like is not in a threatening position yet.
So
I think it's just, I'd say if anything, maybe try to focus up on staying with the play a little bit more as it happens, right? So that way, if the ball comes back to your net or whatever, you turn around as well. It's just matching the pace of the play is probably the number one thing so far.
Because now, not very fast at getting back, that's all.
Sorry, what was that?
I pass it. I'm just not very good at getting back. That's why I don't push too far forward.
Sure. Well, I'd say that's probably your number one mistake that I've noticed so far. Whew, nice try there. Let's see. Honestly, so here's a scenario where this kind of comes down to reaction time as well, right? So I like your positioning in net, right? Your rotation was perfect, actually. Notice how compared to before when you rotated into net, like super early like this. I don't know how I changed my freaking marker size, whatever. You actually rotated into net this way and you're facing this way. That's much better position. I love the fact that you're actually inside the net here. It's perfect. That way it gives you much more of a run up. So you actually are covering much more of the net, when you're inside of it. Whereas if you're
Yeah.
in the same position right here, you're only covering like the first half of the net. This whole back half would be behind you. So this position is actually much better, and you can still turn and basically cover like 80-90% of the net here if you don't push out too far. So I like this. That being said, your positioning, your rotation into net was perfect. I'd say damn near perfect. But this is a scenario where I think it comes down to just reaction time of knowing, okay, I'm about to hit the ball. You should just focus on trying to react as best you can to whatever happens next. Whatever the next touch is, go to that and react to that as quick as you can. I understand you have 200 ping, but the second you realize this is being hit at mid, just fucking go for it. Just go up mid. Just go. Right? If this goes up the wall, then okay, go up the wall. Go for it. Like, or at least react. Because then if you just sit in the net, you're positioning, you're not doing anything. You're not advancing the play. You're not making anything meaningful here. Just letting us hit the ball all the time. So pick a touch and then go off of that.
Okay.
And just try to do it as quick as possible. Because then you realize, okay, I hit this ball. You should be jumping now. Like, you should literally be already going up out of the net. And you should be jumping like right here. And honestly, this would be me if this was me coming. This is weird because I'm the one hitting the ball. But if you were me, or if I were you in this scenario, I would be pushing. I would be turning up right here, and I would be jumping up to this ball, and I would hit it on the right side and put a shot on your net.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you can see how you're just starting from a little bit farther back.
Yeah, it was
It's
just kind of hard.
A little bit different.
I think it kind of rubber banded, and then as soon as I'm able to see the actual direct path of where the ball's going.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's passing right there.
All right.
I put Lester in an awkward position.
Yeah, so this is a scenario where look at where your car is positioned here. Let me see if I can freaking change my marker size. 1 second. I don't know how to highlighter, pen, line.
Damn, what kind of coach doesn't change their marker?
All right, I got it. Got it. Okay, so all right, so look at where your car is positioned, your car language, right? You're facing this way. Like, dude, the play hasn't gone anywhere. The play is way over here, buddy. Like, try to stay with the play and face the play a little bit more. I think if you took like this pad and if you come up this way and just chill right here, then okay, if Frowns beats Lester and goes this way, okay, then you can make your challenge. That's number one. Obviously, if it pinches out midfield, okay, then you turn. That's number two. If Lester beats Frowns and it goes out this way towards like the middle of the field or the other side of the field, okay, then you go up this way. That's number three. But from this one position right here and this point right here, you have so much more better options of like what to do. And you can react to bet two of the scenarios better than you can right now. The only scenario where you can actually get to this ball right now, the best or the quickest, is option 2 that I said earlier, of it coming basically to you, right? In this one scenario. So that's the only scenario that you can cover. That's the only option. So Luke calls that option coverage. Whereas if you're positioned here, you can actually cover these options a lot quicker, at least these two. Then obviously the one that you have to stay with is option 3, if we call it that, where it goes across field. That's the only one that you may not beat everybody to, but you are covering more options already just being in this position rather than this one. And it's not a distance. It's not a great distance, right? It's not that different of a position, but you can see how much that difference affects, your options, right? Of like how threatening you are and how much you can actually cover in one scenario. So yeah, because now look, you're halfway across the field and Lester's trying to rotate out, bro, and you're just not able to cover it because now he's trying to rotate out and you're just now rotating back in. Whereas had you been
Yeah.
chilling here, you could be chilling in this ball and Lester can just rotate out. That's a much better rotation than what you guys are doing right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, you forced the challenge, and here's where the timing comes in too. Because look at, you're so far behind on the play. You're forcing a play here when Lester hasn't even picked up boost yet. He just picked up boost, and now he's rotating back to net. So you challenging here, you should really only be challenging in twos when your teammate is basically ready to make a save in case you get beat. That's the only time. Right now, you should be fake challenging this. I'd say even right now, you're probably maybe pushing up a little too fast. It might be a little difficult, but I'd say right now you should be fake challenging and turning around, because it just forces Frowns to kind of go up midfield this way, and then you can still challenge his ball that way. I don't mind the fact that you're actually pushing up this far, because if you look, the ball is on the ground. So you pushing up this far is actually not that bad. It's not like Frowns is magically just gonna pop this over and get a top 90 in your net, right? He's got to build the play up, right? So if he had a flick here, if he had the ball on top of his car, then that's more threatening. I would say, if anything, then you rotate out this way, right? Don't push up as far. You can see the distance there, the difference. Because he has it on the ground, that's why you're allowed to push up this far. If he had it on top of his car, then you can't. You have to just stay back and then close the distance a little bit, then go around and turn around and shadow.
Because you could put it into like an air dribble, or
he could put an air dribble. He could flick it. He could double. All he has to do is double jump, and he gets it over you. We call that height potential. So again, the fact that this is on the ground versus being on his car. If it's on his car, he can pop it over you at any point. But now the fact that it's on the ground, he really only has the option of either of it just basically rolling this way, but he can only really bring it to the midfield at this point. Look where his car is, right? He can only bring it to this side of the field. So that's why it's not as threatening, and you're allowed to kind of shadow this way. So that's not bad. If he had it on top of his car, then I'd say rotate like this. Give him more respect, because he demands more respect if he has a flick at any point. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. We've talked about the ones and we've talked about the twos now for a little bit. Do you have any questions about anything I've said so far? Or does anything I say not make sense, or are you kind of on the same page, or what?
I'm on the same page. I just gotta ingrain it, because there's so many habits that I built up that are hard to break.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's also like, okay, you're not used to playing Frowns and I, right? Like, I'm sure most of the twos games you are playing are not against us at 200 ping, right? So you're at a disadvantage. So it's, yeah. So it's, I kind of sympathize a little bit with you. Like, okay, it's.
I should have turned right there for sure.
Ooh, Lester made a decent challenge there. Okay, so I want to talk about the challenge at least a little bit.
I should have turned.
Okay, so here's the idea again, right? Of like, okay, you are attacking the play as if he's bringing it this way, right? But at any point, he can basically cut into it, and we know that obviously that's what happens, right? But the idea is that you are attacking as he's about to hit the ball. It's the same idea that what happened in the corner on the other side. Remember that one play? He hit it in the corner. He doesn't have to do anything. He just has to get the timing. You're pushing up. Yeah, I'd say if anything, slow down. See how you're boosting here and you're accelerating? Look how fast you're closing the distance, right? This little bit of distance here. Because you're boosting, it makes it much harder to react to. Whereas if you actually just slow down and challenge, even if he brings it around you, you're still able to turn quicker and cover more midfield space. Because you're going slower, right? You allow him to bring the ball to you. Whereas now the fact that you're challenging, you're boosting, you're closing the space a lot quicker. So all he has to do is just get it around you real quick, and then that's game over.
Yeah, that makes sense. I shouldn't have rushed.
Yeah, see how far you dove from here to here? That's because you were boosting so far through this. Like now, dude, you're literally 3/4 of the field like away from the play now from one challenge, which should not happen. And you left Frowns in a 1v2, so like, you should feel bad.
I mean Lester.
Or Lester, sorry, yeah. So yes. Sorry.
Okay. No worries.
But yeah. All right.
Passes it out. Try to follow it.
Yeah. So I don't like how you're just chilling here underneath me. Like, I don't know what you're expecting to come from this play of like either a bump or whatnot, but like at this
I should have
point
rotated
now,
left.
yeah, you should just keep rotating out and keep going. And then obviously if I put a shot on, then just go for it. But you should be
Yeah.
rotating out and just keep going and turning. Just keep going. You have to. Lester's pushing out, so again, there's that rotation where if I hit this over him, you have to try to make the save. But you slowing
Yeah.
down right here is bad because now then okay, by the time the play comes around and Lester makes a play to the corner, there's like again that space, that distance again. So you slowing down here makes you slower for the next play. So now by the time Lester is pushing this out, okay, I would still say don't push out to the corner here. That you're in a good position here. Again, this is the difference now between you in the corner behind the other play because you were positioned here in that other play before in the corner, right? Where you're pushing out this way. As somebody, as Lester and I are about to hit the ball. So you don't know what's going to happen with this play. It could go up. It could go straight to your net. It could go out. You don't know what's going to happen. So at this point, you should be prioritizing just waiting and seeing what's going to happen. Then, of course, the second this comes out center, then you go, right? If it goes up the wall and you think you need to go, okay, then go up the wall and make a challenge. You know, do whatever you need to do, but try to react to it after somebody hits it.
Okay.
So let's see. So I'd say you're in a good spot here. You don't know what's going to happen. Okay, and Lester, okay, Lester's about to hit the ball. Somebody's about to hit the ball. Then you react to that. Obviously, Lester is on the other side, so he's most likely just going to hit it center. So this is where I would say start pushing up a little bit more towards this corner, kind of close the distance. And honestly, this should just be a shot on their net at a high level. This should just be a goal.
On your net?
Yeah, this should be a goal every time.
I don't think you were too worried about that. You were playing pretty bad. Well, I was playing pretty bad.
But do you see what I mean? Like now, dude, that was a perfect pass. If you push up a little
Yeah, it
quicker,
was.
like this, if you're able to meet the ball and you hit like the left side of the ball and you're able to get a good shot on that, this is a goal 100% of the time.
Yeah. I was a bit slow coming up to it. That's
Yeah. There's the reaction. Ooh, okay. I like this play right now. You're good. I think you jumped too early. You hit the
Yeah, I
ball
think
here,
so.
but look at now because you jump, you're actually committed to the play and you can't make any more adjustments. I'd say
Yeah.
hit the ball on the wall, and I'll go over this in free play as well. Hit the ball on the wall to go out, and then stay along the wall for an extra second, then go after it. And I'll show you
Okay, I
why
think
that. I'll show you why
moves.
that. Yeah, I know you had 24, but trust me, I still would have preferred you to do that, and I'll show you why after this.
Okay.
Ooh, boost
I missed
grab.
the
Missed the boost. That's fine. If you miss that boost, just grab the mid. Because now
Okay,
look
yeah,
at. Now look, this is a
If I-
potential threat. Where again it's
Yeah.
bouncing. This is the same scenario that happened earlier. This should be a shot on your net, from my side, from me. Like this is a clear to me, and this should be a shot on your net. Like look at how open your net is. If I get a
Yeah.
decent shot, if I'm in a better, like I'm hitting this to Frowns, but like if I come up center and I get a decent shot on net, I could hit it over Lester easy, and this could be a shot on your net. I could, in my prime, I could hit this into your net without it even hitting the ground.
Prime?
Yeah.
Wait.
um.
What happened to your prime?
Many fucking cheeseburgers from McDonald's. I'm just kidding. So yeah, but you see what I mean? Like that was that threatening position from before that you had earlier as well. That like I also just had where I could just get a boomer from net. All right, so
Yeah.
let's see.
I didn't go up for that because I saw Lester and I was like, oh, Lester's got it.
Yeah, I think you're now. Look at again. You're lingering around now too far. Because
Yeah, I should've
I'm
kept
about
going.
to hit the ball and Lester doesn't have a play yet. So you sitting here now. Look at there. We're pushing on your side of the field, dude. Lester's just all by his lonesome, dude. You're just leaving him to die. Like, you're just like, all right, dude. I'm grabbing their boost. You have fun, bro. I'm on vacation over here. I got plenty of boost.
Yeah. That's bad.
Okay, one thing I do like that you do, I will give you points where you deserve it. This point right here to here, you didn't use any boost. Nicely done. I don't know if you know that, but once you go supersonic, as long as you don't turn too much, you can actually stay supersonic without using any more boost, as long as you hold down the gas.
Yeah.
So, nice job on that. Okay, so your first priority is obviously, yeah, try to block the net and not get scored on. So nice.
Yeah.
But look at now again, you're pushed up so far expecting something to happen, but dude, we haven't even made the 50-50 yet. Like you have no idea what's going to happen to this ball, and look how close you are. Like what if this got pinched out? What if this got pushed by you? Then you're like, "Oh shit, I got to turn around and make a save." Like dude, there's so much unknown that you have no idea what's going to happen yet. And yet you're
I
pushing
think it was
out at it.
I was so far behind. I just felt like I needed to catch up,
Sure.
and I didn't want to leave him alone. I wasn't sure if he was going to immediately turn
Well,
on that or go to
sorry to
nets.
tell you,
I was
leaving him
already
alone is
pushing.
too late. You should basically, at this point, you should be dropping back to net and prioritizing. Because then, even if I get a shot on net, you should be worried about making a save. That's your first priority. You're too far away from this play. I'm way closer to this than you are, so I can hit this before you.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, I don't get a shot. I just bang it to your backboard and hit it back out center, and Frowns can kind of come around and keep all possession. So like, you should not be pushing for this either way. Like, look at, I'm already hitting the ball. You're not even close to it. Now you get to double back. Whereas before, if you had just doubled back, you'd have more boost. You'd be sitting here, you'd be able to go, and you'd be like, okay, I'm gonna air dribble this. Okay, then you go up the wall, then you make a challenge, right? Whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
If I bring it, yeah, then you're in a better position quicker. Whereas, yeah, this whole game, this whole replay has been about you being too far away from the play, or like too far away from the play, and you just gotta fucking catch up and zoom when you're trying to push up. When I think if you push up sooner, then you wouldn't be as out of position. Okay, I like your positioning so far. The second this transitions to the other side of the field, you have two options. Either push up and try to how do I want to draw this? Try to how to like the bounce off the wall, right? Try to read the bounce off
Yeah.
the wall and try to get a challenge of some kind. Or back up and just chill here facing the play in net, right? Stay in your defensive position and see what's going to happen. Because again, no matter what, you don't know what's going to happen from this play yet. Either you
Yeah.
make the play happen or you chill back and see what's going to happen. Because at this point,
Okay.
you don't know from this bounce what's going to happen. This ball could go up your corner and go around the wall. You have no idea. This could bounce off the wall and Frowns could somehow he could catch it and dribble it into your net, right? He could basically chill it or chip it center. Like there's so much that could happen from this and you have no idea. So if you're not the one pushing up, then just chill back here in the goal line from before when you had good positioning. Just keep that position. I don't mind you pushing out and doing a circle, but then what I would do is literally do one of these. Just do a circle around and then go. Doing this circle keeps your momentum. You can keep your 46 boost. Doing this circle will allow the time to keep going and allow the play to keep progressing. So now by the time you do that circle, okay, then Frowns hits it to the corner, say that happens, then you know you can push out to the corner. By the time that happens, right? You're giving yourself time to like let the play progress, which is not always a bad thing, believe it or not. Because yeah, now look at as Frowns is shooting this, look where you're positioned. You're trying to stay with the play on this side of the field, but dude, you're covering like 20% of the goal here. Look at where all the net is behind you.
Yeah.
So you're trying to like stay positioned on this side of the field, but you're not even covering 80% of the net. So that's why I said position back here and stay back here and face this way. Because then you're more likely to cover the 80% of the net rather than the 20.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it'd be a better outcome.
yeah. Because yes, Frowns, this should have been a shot on net. I want to see what happened here.
See it.
It was a two-touch training. Yep.
Lester continues it. And I see he misses. I see Lester's going for
Okay.
it.
At this point, you have two options. You can pick up this pad, and kind of stay pushed up with the play and try to keep going with it. Or pick up this boost pad and then push up this way. If you pick up the corner boost, you're gonna have too much distance, I think. The smarter play, I think, would be to just grab these three pads and then see. Then you can go from here and make your decision of either dropping back or continue to push up if you need to.
Okay. I think I pushed down center because I thought.
Yeah. Even if you push down center, I don't think that's the right thing to do because look how far away you are. You pushing down center indicates that you're being ready for a pass, right? That Leicester is going to be able to, or the play is going to develop center. Where think about like how the chances that Leicester is able to drop the ball to you or is able to pass the ball to you that Frowns or myself can't intercept, right? So let me put it simpler. In twos, passing is not really encouraged. You should play it like a ones game, and I know it sounds weird, and I know it's like, oh, well, I want to pass, I want to be a team player. Like, okay, do you want to be a team player and make passing plays, or do you want to fucking win the game? Because passing is a dangerous game in twos. Because especially if Leicester is committed. So let's think about this from this perspective. Like you're pushing up center and you say you're ready for a pass. Leicester is pushing up in the air. Okay, well, what do you think the chances are that you're able to beat Frowns and I? And not only the fact that you can beat Frowns and I, but the fact that you can get it past us or potentially in the net. And by the time now that if you go up for a play that you and Leicester both have to drop back, right? What do you think the chances are that that's going to happen? Very, very, very slim, right? So be positioned behind him and be ready for the next play, right? Let Leicester commit and do an air dribble, force the play and force one of us to go out of the net. Say we push it to the corner, then you push up as Leicester, rotates out back, right? So like, Does that make sense as far as twos goes? Like that positioning, you putting position center is just not the right move as much as it sounds like it should be. You should be not centered for the pass. Like you are not going to beat Frowns and I, no offense. But like you and Leicester are not going to beat us to a pass. In a time, like even if you do get it past us, like it's not going to go in the net. And you guys still are committing to a play where you still have to drop back if anything goes wrong. So it's just there's too many like bad scenarios that could come from that. And there's only like one scenario where it's a good play, right? See, like it's still you guys basically got like the lottery on that. And I think that's only because Frowns and I double committed.
Probably.
And you guys basically drew the lottery because now look at this. Frowns should basically be chilling in net here because now look at it. From his scenario, I'm about to make a play on the ball, but he's like, oh, okay, I see the ball. I want to go for it. He sees me on the net. Or he should see me on the freaking net on the wall. He should know that I'm going for this. So he should be guarding the net. So this should never be a goal, basically. But again, we're up by 3 and we got 40 seconds left. So it's like, okay, whatever. But yeah, we double committed. And you guys basically got the fucking lottery on that play. I hope does that make sense though? Like dude, that was fucking 1% chance, right? You got fucking 777s on that play. Like
That's fair. I just gotta stay closer and keep my positioning right. Let's see.
Again, you're on the wall. I don't know why you're on the wall.
I can't help it because I just feel I don't know why I feel safer on the wall.
Like dude, the wall is my home.
It's because like if it comes across there.
Oh my god. Okay, no offense. What the fuck was that? Okay, so this goes up the wall and out. You jumping from the backboard is like okay. I don't know if this is like just because you're like, all right, fuck this game. We got 30 seconds left. I'm gonna go for this. But like,
yeah, pretty much.
Okay, I figured as much, but I hope you realize I'm just sitting here like, okay, what the hell?
I attempted for it.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? At some point, I'm going to kind of give you brownie points, dude. At some point, you got to fucking go for it. If you guys are already down, fuck it, right? I get it. So I'm not grilling you too much. I'm just I'm putting you on blast. But, like, I get it.
Ooh, the save. That threw me off.
Yeah, what a fucking... Oof. Brown's got a nice-ass pass. Woo, man. That was clean.
That was pretty nice from Leicester. I mean, I fully had that covered and kind of threw me off.
I think so. But again, actually, see how you reacted, like, before the play even happened, I guess? Like, because by the time you were getting ready to make a save, he was making a touch, and he almost own goaled that. Okay. All right. So, I'm going to cover a couple things.
Okay.
Let me go into free play. All right. Overall, did anything I say not make sense, or are we good on the replay?
No, we're good.
All right.
Made sense.
All All right, this has honestly been the most like clusterfuck like coaching session I've had so far, but I like it. I love it. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of cover like the whole wall plays and stuff like that. I had a coaching session with Dreamy about this earlier too, and I've talked about this in many of my other coaching sessions. But think about like anytime you're on defense and you're going to make a save, you jump and tilt back to get the height, right? To try to meet the ball to save it, right? So. Like, say you have to jump up and make a save like that. You know, you jump and tilt your car back to get the height. The same thing applies, like, if you're going for a shot. So if I jump, I have to jump and meet the height of the ball. The same thing actually applies if I'm going for, like, an air dribble. I jump, and I see how I tilt the nose of my car down, or the nose of my car back. Like, if I jump out and tilt my car back, with a little bit of air roll, I'm already facing the net. So what I mentioned earlier, remember what I said earlier about you having a lot of space here, where I said, okay, well, you committed, like you did something like that, right? Where you jump immediately. You actually jumping is committing to the play way too early. Whereas if you hit the ball, then jump, see how much better that is? Obviously, my execution is a lot better, but like my execution is better because I gave myself the time. Hit it, wait a second.
Yeah.
I probably used, what, 20, 30 boosts? But I could have used that 23 boosts that you had in that time much more effectively if you hit the ball here, jump out. Like, dude, that's a much better effective use of 20 boost than what you did earlier when you just front flipped over the ball, right, and hit it down to the ground. Like, that's that's actually a nice shot. So does that make sense about what I said earlier about waiting a second? Because, like, the second you jump and commit, like, now I'm committing to a play. I don't have any more adjustments after that.
Yeah.
So inherently, you jumping is actually committing to the play. Whereas, like, if I wanted to hold on to this and actually pass it center, I can do that. Because as long as I hold myself onto the position on the wall, as long as I hold onto the wall, I can actually I can still change my mind with what I want to do. But the second you jump, okay, now I can't hit that mid anymore because I'm hitting it down the line. So it's like, yeah, the second you jump, you commit to the play. So there was that. Honestly, as far as like shooting and stuff like that, I didn't really see a whole lot. Like, didn't really have a whole lot of offense that game, so it's kind of hard to judge. But one drill that I would like to give is just hold down or press the D-pad down if you have Bacchus mod. That'll just toss the ball up, and you can practice shooting like this. That's literally what I do in free play for 5 or 10 minutes every day before I warm up. That's my warm up, or my pre-warm up, I should say.
Pre-warm-ups for warm-up?
Yeah, it's literally like, yeah, I'm not kidding. Yes, it is. Like, it's literally what I do every day. And you want to focus on getting powerful shots. Like, even that was pretty terrible. Something like that is a little bit better. Where you want to get powerful shots. Notice how I'm hitting this with the corner of my car.
Using air roll to get the
Yep,
angle.
I'm using my air roll. I'm hitting it with the literal corner. And I'm not only hitting the corners, but notice how I'm matching the ball height. So I'm jumping up, hitting the underside of the ball, then following through with the corner flip. See how the ball is high up there? If I'm jumping and I'm hitting like the top of the ball here, I'm still going to hit it down into the ground and it's going to bounce before it goes in, right? So that's not a good shot. But the fact that I hit it like right here and I'm able to drive myself through the ball and it's able to get, you know, a top 90, that's the difference, or the top bins. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
That's a much better shot. So that's just one really simple drill that you can practice, is just doing powerful shots like that without hitting the ground. You know, you can do it as complex as you want. Like, even something like that, that's pretty terrible. But, like, you know, I think you get the idea.
Yeah, I do.
So, honestly, the idea of just, I want you to keep in mind, the idea of jumping and tilting back, though, and meeting the height of the ball is something that actually applies to a lot more than just making shots or making saves. Because if I go up for the wall for an air dribble, jump, tilt back, use a little bit of air roll, well, there's an air dribble for you. It's just, you jump and tilt back a lot more as a motion than you realize in a game.
That was close. No, but I get you. It's just In some scenarios, I basically call that peeling the car off the wall.
Right.
It's like in some scenarios I can do that, but in others I just don't feel comfortable enough.
Sure. So even
But,
here, I'm meeting the middle of the ball, right? I actually braked because I was going like upwards too much. So I brake and it forces me to go out and hit the middle of the ball to drive it into the net. So there's so much, and again, hitting it with the corner of my car, blasting the middle of the ball, and that's a pretty good shot. So that's really
Yeah.
like how I'm able to generate a lot of those shots in like our in-house games that you see. And even going for something like a ceiling shot, see how I jump, tilt back, and get the shot like that. Again,
Okay.
meeting the middle of the ball, tilt my car down. So right here I have my jump reset. I actually didn't jump off the wall, but the same idea applies. See how I tilt my nose down?
Mhm.
Then when I front flip, hit the middle of the ball, keep the height up there, boom.
You follow it.
Yep.
That's interesting. I think it's mainly timing.
Yeah, it
I'm
is.
just really bad with it.
So that's just one drill that you can practice that applies to a lot in game, to be honest with you.
What is that one called?
It's if you use Bacchus mod, if you have the Bacchus mod plugin on PC, it's just using down on your D-pad. So like if I press up, it'll spawn it on top of my car.
Yeah.
I think if if you press right, it'll roll it to you. Press left, it'll put it above the net for a rebound. If you press down, it'll throw the ball to you.
Okay.
How
How do you speed flip?
Good question. I was planning on making a tutorial on it at some point, but I guess I can cover it. So I'm going to talk about the flip first. So when I do a speed flip, I actually jump. So like think about when I do like a corner flip, right? I'm actually going off course, right? So say I want to drive along this line, this white line down the field. If I want to do a speed flip, I actually have to course correct, right? So if I wanted to do a speed flip like that, I'm going off to the left already, and that's not what I want.
Yeah.
So to course correct, what I have to do is I have to either drive to the right, so that way when I flip, I land in line with the line. Or what I like to do on a kickoff, and what I generally like doing, is I jump. And again, here's where jumping and tilting back is really important, and what makes me a good player, I think, is I jump, I tilt back, but I tilt back to the right. So the nose of my car goes up a little bit and to the right. So if I jump, tilt back to the right, well, that's my correction. So if I jump, tilt to the right, then I do the corner flip and cancel it, that's your speed flip. So I'm going to do it. See how I tilt to just to the right just for that like split second?
Yeah.
I actually do it when I jump, then flip to the right. Or flip to the left, sorry. So I jump, tilt to the right, then I do my flip to the left. The actual flip, so that's the course correction, just to stay on a straight line. So what you want to do is, since I jump down to the right, to course correct, before I even do anything, I just jump, tilt my stick down to the right. Then I flip opposite direction. I flick my stick to the opposite direction up left to do a corner flip that way. Then I flip my stick, let me see, down to the right, up left, then down right again.
You know what you should get for your coaching sessions is controller overlay.
Yes, I should get the Bacchus mod plugin. I actually have it on my local recordings, so you'll be able to see my inputs for this if you watch the VOD.
Yeah, it's really helpful because it really helps you like see. But I see what you're talking about. You're basically jumping, pulling it up, and then that's your correction midair instead of doing it on the ground.
Yes. So let me actually, I'm gonna extend an olive branch here. I can actually do the Musty's training pack here.
Let's see it. Let's see it. I've only done it once. How? What? I
Got the redirect.
first try too. First try too.
I could do it every time.
Jeez. All right. That one's fast. You do it either way. Jesus. All right. That's.
I mean, I could literally do it every time.
All right. So when do you go for your jump? Is it like a few feet after you move, or is it?
So yes, it is a few feet after you move. The idea is that you want to do it in such a way that when you flip and boost, you get supersonic as quick as possible.